Colleagues, I rise today to urge a no vote on House Bill 4205. This legislation is a direct threat to our ability to protect Michigan families from harmful contaminants in the water coming out of their taps. As many of you know, areas around Grand Rapids and dozens of other communities throughout our state have been faced with drinking water crises as PFAS contamination is revealed in private wells, in municipal water systems, and in schools, not to mention groundwater used to irrigate food crops and surface water consumed by wildlife, the water we boat in, swim in, and let our children play in. In an effort to address and control this water contamination, I have proudly championed legislation to strengthen Michigan's drinking water standards for PFAS. Currently, the Environmental Protection Agency's drinking water advisory thresholds for PFAS is set at 70 parts per trillion. But research has shown that even at 70 parts per trillion, PFAS can be dangerous to our bodies and lead to health issues like kidney disease, autoimmune disorders, high cholesterol, an increased risk of cancer, as well as reproductive issues, including miscarriages and difficulty becoming pregnant. And just recently, a new study published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism shows that young men exposed to these chemicals have a range of problems with their reproductive systems, including lower sperm counts and smaller penises. Research is clear that unless we find a way to reduce exposures to developing fetuses, we will be setting up boys and girls for a lifetime of reproductive challenges. It is abundantly clear that we need stricter regulations for our drinking water standards than those advised by the federal government. That's why I have proposed creating a maximum allowable contaminant limit for PFAS of 5 parts per trillion. But this legislature has so far failed to act, making it vital that we have an executive, namely a governor, who will. But under House Bill 4205, the incoming governor's hands would be tied, stopping her from taking action to do what is right for Michigan families, and continuing the current lame duck playbook of stripping authority away from duly elected Democrats and subverting the will of the people. If we pass this bill, we would be unable to set the stronger drinking water standards that our families need. We would be unable to protect the public health and ensure that they are safe from harmful substances in the water coming from their taps. We would be unable to do what we know is right for Michigan and would be at the mercy of an often slow and unresponsive federal government. And as the self-proclaimed party of local control, I struggle to understand how my colleagues across the aisle justify this type of policy. Federal regulations, many of which are not even subject to a legislative process, were never intended to be a ceiling of protection that we provide to our students. They were always meant to be the floor, to be built on and improved upon by states, by us. This legislation gives away our freedom to craft regulations that work for Michigan, and instead forfeits that great power to officials in DC, who may never even set foot in our communities and who are not directly accountable to our citizens. While Michiganders, our constituents, are seeking solutions, this bill does nothing to help address PFAS contamination, and in fact, it makes it nearly impossible for anyone to clean up this mess in the future. My community sent me to Lansing to vote for policies and for common sense regulations that are right for Grand Rapids and for Michigan, not to defer to bureaucrats in DC about what is best for us. I urge you all to vote in favor of preserving our right to protect our water, our public health, and our economy as a whole by rejecting this short-sighted and dangerous proposal. Colleagues, I urge a no vote on House Bill 4205.